Hello everyone and welcome back to another speed build on the channel. I'm having a lot of fun with these, so I thought I would do another one. Instead of a house this time, I have decided to go with one of the apartments in San Myshuno, which you get with the City Living pack. I think you also get apartments with Eco Lifestyle, but I don't think I have that pack. So we are working on these apartments instead. I changed this one from, I think it was originally a 2 bedroom, and the second bedroom was gigantic and was the only room that led to the balcony. So what I've done instead is I've split it up. 2 bedroom, open plan, kitchen and living, bathroom is in the same spot because you can't move like the pipes and stuff, and they sort of just made sense in the bathroom anyway. But the little room that connects to the balcony now, I've turned into a joint hobby room. So I end up putting an easel and a heap of paintings and drawings on the wall, and I put in some of the nifty knitting stuff, I guess. I think there's like embroidery tools you can get too, which is pretty cool. So, or cross stitching. I think you do cross stitching from cottage living. I think I've popped that in as well. It took me ages to do this kitchen because I love these counters from Dream Home Decorator, but I hate the matching cupboards that go above the kitchen counters. I think the matching swatch was really ugly, so I just made the kitchen cupboards a bit darker than the actual counters, but I think it ends up looking fine. Yeah, I sort of pictured 2 housemates that live together in this house. One of them has a cat. One of them is into the painting and visual arts, and one is into the fibre crafts. So I thought this was a nice little hodgepodge little house. Again, I'm really enjoying not having super matching furniture. Like, I play with the different wood tones and everything in this build, which I think is really fun. I do always end up making my builds really green. Green is like my color. It's the accent color in my own home. So I think when I build in Sims, I'm just automatically drawn to green objects and green walls and touches of green everywhere, which I know can be a bit annoying. I know there was a phase there where everyone was building blue kitchens. So I don't know if green is in right now in the speed building community. I haven't watched one in a very long time. I did struggle with that little space behind the couch for a bit there too, but finally picked out a shelf. And yeah, just finishing off the living room now. Again, very hodgepodgey, almost like secondhand looking furniture, but nice secondhand looking furniture. Not grabbing a couch from the curb kind of vibe. The curtains took me ages as well. I did remember to put them in every room this time, but I do go back and change them all. So don't get too attached to those blinds, they will be changing. Finally putting in lighting. I build in the dark for all of my builds. I don't know why I do that. I think because I always had the lighting at like a lunchtime, noon kind of vibe. And so I like seeing how the natural light goes before I put artificial lights in. Yeah, changing the blinds. It felt weird, like, usually when you rent a place, they have matching curtains. But I was like, maybe the people that lived here, it came with no curtains. And so they bought all these curtains and they're just mismatchy. But I was like, even if you moved in here and there were no curtains, you would buy matching curtains because you'd be doing it all in the same shop. So I go back and make all of them match. I just change the colours and stuff. Because I didn't want them to match completely. I thought it would be fun to have different colours for the rooms and stuff. So yeah, I just fully skimmed past that, but that was the bedroom with the housemate that owns the cat. I did picture 2 women living in here, but I think it's like neutral enough that it could easily be changed into like a man's home, a home for men. You know, so I don't think that would be too much of a change if I end up playing in this house eventually and, it doesn't turn out being 2 female housemates. The possibilities are endless, really, with the 2 bedroom. A 3 bedroom if you end up closing off that crafting room that leads to the balcony. But yeah, it's pretty modular. I don't think that's the right word. Anyway, yeah, doing lighting in this room I thought was really interesting because I know you can rent places in Melbourne that don't have overhead lighting, which sounds insane, but it is true. So I think I was trying to do that in that last bedroom we just looked at. I wanted to play around with lamps and candles and everything. But this is the bathroom. And honestly, I keep my bathrooms pretty simple. I did put in a washer and dryer just so there's more gameplay in the apartment, I guess. Yeah, I always go pretty basic on the bathrooms, I'm not going to lie. Bit of pop of colour here and there, but that's kind of it. Yeah, just it's just a bathroom. Moving on to the craft room now, I really like how this turned out. Given that it's such a small room, I think I did pretty well. So initially I was like, oh, it could just be like a shared study. So I was going to put a desk in. And then the desk took up a lot of room. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And I don't want to make the archway smaller either. So I left the archway big. And I really hope this is playable. I should really start testing that. And I was going to put in a little corner for the cat as well. But I was like, if I lived here with a housemate, I wouldn't want them taking up a whole room for their art stuff. Like I would want to be in the room as well, especially as it leads to the balcony. So this is when I pop in more neutral items. So board games, the sketching stuff, obviously. I think I grabbed the knitting and embroidery item or cross-stitching items soon. But yeah, put in an extra seat so that, you know, maybe one of them would be painting and the other one would be doing her cross-stitch. Guitar is in there just as a hobby item anyway. I don't know who would play it out of these two, but it would be one of them. Or maybe they're like me and they have a guitar and don't touch it for 3 years. So yeah, moving on to the balcony. Really happy with how this came out. I think this is the best I've ever made this balcony look. Like I've built on this lot a lot just in my own time, and I think this is probably the best that I have made it look. It just looks nice and cozy. Again, kind of eclectic furniture. This is me changing the curtains as well. But yeah, the furniture on the balcony isn't as cohesive, but I kind of like that. Again, it makes it more realistic, especially for a share house. Like you're not really buying sets of furniture in a share house. You kind of just start living together and accumulate a heap of junk. So yeah, I think it came out really well. Could be a nice little place to have a smoke, read your book, have a cup of tea, have some friends over, you know. On to the screenshots now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.